Hi everyone, welcome to Teacher Chan channel. So this video I will talking something about the physics revision. Okay. So the first one is voltmeter. The physical quantity that can be found in the voltmeter is voltage. And the function for the voltmeter is to measure potential difference. So in this voltmeter, the smallest division is 0.1 volt. So the second one is ammeter. The physical quantity that can be found in this ammeter is current. The function of ammeter is to measure electric current. The smaller division that can be found in this instrument is 0.1 ampere. So the third instrument that I want to introduce is this meter rule. So the physical quantity that can be measured by this instrument is length. The function of meter rule is to measure length or distance. The smaller division that can be found is 0.1 cm or 1 millimeter. So, micrometer screw gauge, the most important thing that we had to understand is how to find the reading. So if let's say we want to find the reading, so we had to find the main scale reading. So in this picture, the main scale reading actually is 7.5 millimeter. So the next, we have to find the timber scale reading. So in this picture, the timber scale reading is 0.24 millimeter. So after we total out, so we will get the reading is 7.74 millimeter. Next, I want to introduce how to modify. If let's say you want to make a human, make a man run faster with maximum acceleration. So we are going to talking about the type of attire. Okay, so the type of attire must be light or tight or smooth. Why? The reason is because we are going to reduce the air resistance. So the second part, we can modify the shoe. Okay, so the shoe must with growth. Okay, so the reason is because it will having a better grip or prevent slippery, so that the human or the man won't fall down. Okay, so the last one, additional equipment. So when we're talking about the additional equipment, so we had to using the starting block, okay, the starting block. So the reason is to increase the forward force at the starting point. Ticker timer. The function of this instrument is to measure the velocity and acceleration of an object. Normally, we can find ticker timer in the laboratory because when we want to find the motion of an object, usually we will using this instrument. Or now in the KSSM syllabus, we are going to using the more advanced, more accurate instrument. We call it as photo gate. So ticker timer will use alternating current power supply, and it will make 15 tick on the ticker tag in 1 second. That's why 1 tick will having a duration is 0.02 seconds. Linear motion. The linear motion of an object of mass which is moving with a velocity is defined as product of mass and velocity. So normally during the exam, they like to asking about the calculation. So I hope you all can remember the formula of momentum, which is the mass times velocity. So the SI unit is kg/ms to the power of -1. Speed limit must be imposed on heavy vehicle like lorry. So why the lorry must having the speed limit? So actually the story is due to just now the formula that we learned. Okay, just now the formula is momentum equal to the mass times velocity. When the mass of the lorry increasing, so it will produce a higher momentum. If the velocity of the lorry also increasing, so it will also produce higher momentum. And the higher momentum normally will create impact when accident occur. So look at the first point. Vehicle with the high speed produce momentum. So lower speed will reduce the impact caused by momentum if an accident happens. Principle of conservation of momentum state that the total momentum of a system is constant if no external force act on the system. So in this example, I want to let the student understand is what is mean external force. So external force is normally what we talking about is the frictional force. Okay, is the frictional force. If let's say we don't have frictional force influence the example, so the total momentum before collision will equal to the total momentum after the collision. Design of jet engine. So if let's say we want to design the jet engine, so the first one is the opening of air intake. The opening of the air intake must be large. The reason is because when the opening of the air intake is large, so more air can take in. Air is one of the raw material to undergo combustion. If let's say more air can go inside the combustion chamber, so it will produce more heat energy. Second, we had using the titanium plate. Titanium plate actually is alloy, and the alloy is strong and it does not easily to rust. Third one, large combustion chamber. Combustion chamber is a place that we using the fuel so that the combustion can occur. So if let's say the combustion chamber is large, so it can burn more fuel to produce a larger backward momentum. According to just now, principle of conservation of momentum, if you can produce larger backward momentum, at the same time, you also can produce larger forward momentum. Last one, the exhaust opening must be small. Small exhaust opening will produce higher velocity of exhaust gases. Force in equilibrium. If the situation is in the equilibrium, it means the net force or resultant force is zero. When the object is in equilibrium, or what we say are balance force, the object will either stationary or moving with uniform velocity. So one of the example, when the object is in equilibrium, so it will having a equal force, like when the car moves with constant velocity, so the two forces acting on the car is the engine thrust and the drag. So you will see that the engine thrust is equal to the drag. So when the object does not in equilibrium, like the car moves with acceleration, then you will see that the force acting on the car is unequal. So the engine thrust will larger than the drag. In order to find the resultant force, so we got three cases. So this one is the first cases. So when two forces are parallel to each other, we can using addition of force. So look at the example that I provided in this video. If let's say 10 Newton and 5 Newton acting on the object are in the same direction, so we can using addition of force plus 10 together. That's why 10 plus 5, you will get the answer is 15 Newton. Second example, when two forces acting on the object are in different direction, so you have to remember the smaller value you have to put negative sign. That's why 10 Newton plus negative 5 Newton, so you will get the resultant force is 5 Newton. Another way to find the resultant force is by using triangle method when two forces are neither parallel nor perpendicular to each other. So when you all want to drawing this triangle method, so you always have to bear in mind, so this one is the tip and this one is the head. So you all have to join all the force together by using the formula tip to the head, tip to the head. Okay, always like this. Okay, always like this. So after you finish drawing the head to tip or tip to head, so you will get this picture. So we can find the resultant force. So the last one to find the resultant force is using the parallelogram method. And this method can be used like just now the triangle method. They are almost the same. So at first you have to make sure these two forces are joining together at a point. Okay, at a point. And the direction is always moving outward. Okay, moving outward from the point just now that I showed to you all. So later on, when you draw a parallelogram, so from the point A to point C, this one will be our resultant force. So do you see that actually in this parallelogram, you can find the triangle just now that I showed in the previous slide? Yeah, this one. So this one is the triangle method. Okay? And if let's say you all make it like the parallelogram, so this one is the parallelogram. So you also can find the resultant force. Hooke's law states that the change in the length of a spring is directly proportional to the force applied to the spring without exceeding the elastic limit of the spring. So, according to the Hooke's law, formula will be force equal to spring constant multiplied extension. If you want to find the extension, you can take the new length minus original length. Factor that affecting the stiffness of a spring. So we had to look at the type of material. When we're talking about the type of material, so normally the steel spring is stiffer than the copper. Second, when we look at the length of the spring, so the shorter spring is stiffer than the longer spring. When you all look at the diameter of the coin of the spring, then the spring with the smaller diameter of the coin is stiffer than the larger diameter of the coin. Spring with larger diameter of wire is different with just now the diameter of the coin. So look at here. Okay, so sorry. So just now the background, okay, is quite noisy because the lorry is passing by. Okay, so I want to tell you all, diameter of the coin actually is like this. Okay, this one is the coin. Okay, this one is the coin. When I say the diameter of the wire actually is like this. This one is the wire. Okay, the diameter of the wire. Okay, the diameter of the wire actually is at this portion. Okay, at this portion. Okay, so when you all look at the diameter of the wire, you will see that spring with larger diameter of wire is stiffer than the smaller diameter of wire. So the last one, which type of arrangement of the spring will be more stiffer? So actually the answer will be our parallel arrangement. When the springs are in the parallel arrangement, it will become more stiffer. Pascal Principle states that pressure exerted on an enclosed liquid is transmitted equally throughout the liquid, which means that if the pressure at here is 1000 Pascal, so the pressure at this part also the same, will be same value, also is 1000 Pascal. Hydraulic system. In this hydraulic system, a small force is applied on cylinder with a smaller surface area, able to produce a large force on cylinder with a larger surface area. So always remember, a small input of the force able to create large output force. Hydraulic jet. If the question asking how to modify, so you all have to remember these 3 points. The first one is the ratio of surface area of large piston to small piston. The ratio of the surface area of the output piston to the input piston must be large to small to produce a bigger output force. So it able to lift out the heavy car. Second, we have to using oil in this hydraulic jet, so it does not evaporate easily. Last one, in this hydraulic jet, we can find the transmission pipe. So the material to build this transmission pipe must be using certain that not easily to rust, such as steel. Because it does not rust, so it can use for a longer period. That's why it is long lasting. So students, Today our video will be stopped here. If you all want I make more video, so you all can comment in this comment below this video. So I will try my best to record more video before the exam start. So I wish you all can get a good grade in the SPM result. So see you all next time. Bye.